All right, everybody. Welcome back to Book Copy's Workshop. I know I've been out for a little while. I haven't done a whole lot of work on the bike. Haven't really done too much to the bike lately. I tried a couple other things, some new turn signals and stuff, which I'm going to post a couple more videos, do some good reviews. The internal antenna worked out really well. I switched to XM satellite radio, so I'm going to post a video about that too. And then some new turn signals and things like that. A couple of the minor tweaks in there, and of course I did the stage 1 upgrade, so I'm definitely going to do a review on that one. I had some issues with the power band, but it seems to have leveled out a little bit. It's a way different power band, so driving that's a whole different night and day. So yeah, but with that, I got a new project now, and I know I've been really good with the bike. I'm super smart and working on the bike and everything. I've never had a whole lot of issues. I'm pretty mechanically inclined, but now I'm gonna try a new project for me. So I got myself a 1986 Ford Bronco. It's been sitting in someone's backyard for about 8 years. It needs a lot of engine work. It needs some body work. But you know what? It's just a project. I got it for a pretty sweet deal. I couldn't pass it up. And it's something to work on, something to do. The good news is all the parts are there. It's missing a few trim panels on the inside, but we have a couple of donor vehicles, you know, right down the street at the junkyard. So I think it'll turn out pretty good. So I'm going to set together a series of videos coming up here in the future. I'm assuming it's going to take me quite a while to work on this Bronco, but I'm going to set together some videos and kind of go over a few things with the Bronco, and I'll start posting those videos too. I'm pretty excited. And honestly, this is going to be a total junkyard build. That's the plan I'm going for. So I'm going to use junkyard parts. I'm going to use a very low budget. I'm setting myself a very low budget. I think the only issues we're going to have on the budget are going to be on the engine and maybe the seats or the seat covers, depending on how I want to go. I can buy replacement seat fabrics and just redo the whole upholstery, or I can go with a really nice custom fit seat cover. But we'll see how it pans out when we get to that point. I'm not even close to doing interior yet. We got a lot more to do. I got to do some body work and get some panels swapped out, new hood, and things like that. So that's the plan that we're going to go with. Let me give you a quick walk around, just to see what I deal with to start with, and then you guys can see where to go from there. Now, it does have a lot of neglect, some wear and tear. It's not too bad on the rust, and we'll get to some of that too. So I'm planning on doing some underbody coating, refresh the engine compartment, refresh the paint, maybe go with something a little bit unconventional on the paint, I'm not sure yet. And then we're gonna go ahead and refresh the interior, the dash, kind of do some work in there, maybe some vinyl wrap to kind of bring it up to make it look nice again. The goal is to try and keep it as factory as possible, but and retain that stock look. I want to keep the chrome trim. I want to keep the chrome, light bezels and things like that. I want to try and refresh this into making it look as stock and as factory as possible, while remaining in that really tight budget that I have. So we'll see how it pans out on the budget. Depending on how the engine work goes, that might take care of the budget for me, but. We'll see how it pans out. On everything else, it's all going to be manual labor, do it myself, junkyard parts, kind of reuse what I have, and just kind of refresh the Bronco up. I'm pretty excited about it, so we'll kind of see what happens. So let's see. All right, so as you can see, we got our basic Bronco. I've already scoped out a new bumper, a new hood, got that coming. This chrome trim panel is there. I did a lot of research. This is all pretty good surface material, so I can bring all this chrome back to life. This will be good. All this chrome will come back to life. It should be relatively easy. Some polishing techniques and things like that. I got a replacement for this quarter panel. He must have bumped into something. And I got a replacement for the hood because it got squished a little bit. It's got a lot of surface rust. I don't really want to deal with that kind of stuff. I'm gonna keep the factory wheels. I'm gonna keep the factory wheels. They have the chrome rings, and I got the plastic caps over it. I'm gonna refresh those, and I'm gonna do a good coating of paint on those to match the same coating of paint that we're gonna do on the Bronco itself. Now, overall, the paint isn't really that bad, but there is some body damage, and since I'm missing the matching stripes and stuff, so I think I'm gonna strip all that down. I do wanna retain the factory chrome, because I'm gonna keep that project intact, but I'm gonna follow it on with the original pieces that we're gonna replace. I'm not a big fan of these handles. They're going away, and I'll refresh the mirrors. I'll probably get the same make and model, but just a newer something a little bit cleaner. There are some parts that I have to buy new that I can't get from the junkyard, but that's kind of what we're gonna end up doing. So the top is in great shape. The top is pretty solid, needs a little bit of work on the chrome trim, but that should be easy to do. Overall, all the windows are in good condition. The power windows work for both the sides and the rear. So we still have a full rear to go in here. The guy I got it from actually gave me a brand new tailgate that he took off of, well, not brand new, he gave me a tailgate that he took off of a donor vehicle. So I got another tailgate in the back that I'm gonna swap this whole unit out with. Spare tire, don't have a key for the wheel. That's gonna be interesting to get off. But yeah, this will all go away. All this rust right here will all go away because I have a replacement rear panel. There's a bumper. I got a donor bumper already scoped out at the junkyard. A little bit of body damage here, but I'm gonna take my time and try and learn how to do some body work. So it should be pretty interesting. All the seals for the roof are good. Seals for the doors, all the weather stripping and everything is all pretty solid. It's still intact. So it doesn't leak. It doesn't make any watermarks or anything like that. So it looks good. The chrome, you'll see the chrome trim still looks really good. That can be buffed out. There's a couple of spots where I'm gonna take it off and I might be able to pound out a couple of these little small spots here, these little dents, but overall it looks really solid. I'm not gonna be too upset about a couple of small dents here and there. Remember, I'm not a body guy, so I haven't really done any body work before, so this will all be new to me. So, and I'm gonna give it a try. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're gonna clean this up. I gotta do some patching up on top, get rid of these handles, and then we're gonna kind of go from there. But overall, I think it's gonna be a good project. I got a good budget set out, pretty moderate budget. So I'm gonna call this the Bronco budget build, and we're looking at overall my budget. I think I'm shooting for about $1,500, maybe 2,000 tops. But we'll see what happens with the engines. That's gonna change things. But now the interior, let me show you the interior here. The interior is gonna be a little bit more of a challenge for me. But again, I'm gonna stay with the budget and I'm gonna do a lot of this work myself. You can see a lot of it's still intact. It's not, there's a couple of cracks here and there that we can fill in and paint over. So we can refresh the interior. A lot of the pieces are still here. He's actually got a replacement instrument cluster that I can use to swap out some parts in the dash. And I gotta fix the key ignition, doesn't work right now, but that's a $7 part. So, but you can see all the door panels are still here. They're still intact. They're not broken, they're not cracked or anything like that. So this will be a super easy touch up to refresh this chrome trim and refresh this plastic. You know, I may end up removing these ugly old carpeted mat pockets, but that's easy. We can make a trim out of MDF, wrap it with some vinyl wrap to match the rest of this. Carpeting can be cleaned, refreshed. That's good stuff. All the switches work, so that's actually good too. So the switches over on that side work also. The switch for the rear window works. He said he had it running before he put it in storage. It should be relatively easy. The headliner itself is intact. You can feel all the original ridges and crests are all still here. So that's easy to do. We'll just take out the whole headliner intact and then we'll refresh it with a fresh coat of fabric. It's relatively cheap, relatively easy. Shouldn't be too many issues with that as well. We'll probably get a new mirror just to make it look nice. I don't think I'm gonna waste my time trying to clean that up, and when it's just so cheap. I can get a replacement mirror, the whole package deal, for $10. So not a big deal on that one. So the seats, you can see they're old, they're kind of dusty. They're not bad condition on the foam, so the foam will actually hold up pretty well. So the debate right now is, do I replace this fabric cover or do I just get some aftermarket seat covers to fit over it? I'm okay with the aftermarket seat covers. My only drawback is I want to make sure that they are custom fit so I don't have any issues. But if I do that, I'll lose this really cool mat pocket that's on here. It's got a nice zipper and a couple other pockets behind it. I really don't want to lose that. So I'm wondering, if I go with a factory style fit, can I retain this same mat pocket? We'll see. There's the other option of trying to revitalize these seats too. We may be able to do that with a real good cleaning. But you know, we'll kind of go from there and see what happens. Of course, I have to fix this hardware. There's some issues down there. You can see it's a little bit loose. We got to get that kind of addressed a little bit. Probably swap out with some new hardware. Now you can see in here, there's a bunch of parts for the engine where they had taken it apart to work on it and didn't know what to do.
this is going to be a problem for me because you're going to see that here's my intake manifold. So you're going to see there's some issues going on here that I'm not even going to address in this first couple of videos because the engine is going to be a project by itself. But you can see I have the rest of the quarter panels back here. I have, it even has the factory armrests. They're not cracked, they're not broken or anything like that. So I got all the trim in here. Here's the new tailgate. Sorry, the sun. New tailgate right here, and I got a new tailgate panel. So all this will work out really well once we start working on it. Here you can see here's my fan shroud for the engine compartment. But I do have a factory bench seat back here. I got all my trim panels back here, and I got a really good solid setup to start with. You can see the roof looks amazing. There's no damage or anything to the removable roof, and everything looks really good. It doesn't look like there's any burn marks or cigarette stains or anything like that inside the truck. So I don't know if they even smoked in here. So it'll be actually a really good project. But we'll see how it pans out. I mean, the four-wheel drive works great. The transmission, the transfer case, the axles, everything is really solid. Looks really good. We'll refresh it underneath. We'll take some stuff apart. We'll check some things out. Then we'll kind of go from there and see what we want to do. The keys work fine. I have to replace the ignition switch, which it starts by itself right now, which I don't want to do that. Battery's going to cost me $100 too. So far, I've put some used tires on here. Cost me a couple $100 to get some used tires on, get them mounted and balanced, and I mounted them to the truck myself, so it was actually relatively easy, so I saved me some bucks that way. Since I do have my truck to drive parts around, it's probably going to be I'm going to try and clean this up and make it somewhat of a daily driver, just something fun to run around in the desert. Being out in California, I have that option. So that's kind of where we're going to go on this, and I'm going to put this video out there so you guys can see it. I'll post some new videos every now and then, and we'll kind of go from there. I will be putting out some questions to see if anybody has opinions on what I think I should do as far as revitalizing some of these old parts. There is a lot of videos on there on how to restore the dash and how to restore a few other things. So I'm kind of looking for some opinions out there on which direction I should go on some of these options. So if you like these videos, just please follow along and follow along with me as I put some more videos out there for this 1986 Bronco budget build. Thanks, everybody.